All right, here we go. Give the equation for the sinusoid shown at the right. And so we've got a graph here, and real quickly, just to make sure that we say it, that any sine wave, um, so y equals um, a times sine of b times the quantity x minus h, and then plus v, it's always going to be able to be written as cosine as well. It'd be um, a different h value or a different v value depending on specifically how you wanted to write it. But that same wave, like this one right here, so y equals a times the cosine of b. Actually, let me put that even in the same color just to emphasize that it really is the exact same. um, Y equals the same a value. This will be now cosine though. Same b value of x minus and plus, but then it will have a new h and v value. But the same line, same wave can be written correctly um, a couple different ways. Well, actually, an infinite number of different ways. If we just kept on, whatever the period was, if we kept on changing that h as the period goes, that we could say that it's starting maybe right here, or it's starting right here, it's starting right here. But that h value, um, there's an infinite number of correct answers. So as we're writing these, we're going to write this one here in just a moment for cosine, and you'll see why. But there's also a correct sine equation. There's an infinite number of correct sine equations. There's an infinite number of correct cosine equations. We're just going to look for the one that's the easiest. But you want to make sure you understand that there are an infinite number of correct answers. So here we go. We know that we're going to have to write this as one of these two forms right here. And what button did I just hit? Sorry, just a second. All right, sorry about that. So we need to kind of find some key points to be able to figure out our A, our B, our H, and our V values. That's what we're going to need to fill in to have the equation. We need to know what A, B, H, and V are going to be. So to do that, we need to find out, let's start with A. How would we figure out what the amplitude is of this equation? So we're going to take the highest y value, the maximum. It looks like it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So that point right there, that y value being 5, and the lowest y value, the minimum, right here, -1. And we want to figure out what's right in the middle. Where would that midline, where would that be? And so we're going to take the max and the min, add them together, and then divide by 2, find the average. So we've got 5 plus -1 all over 2. So 4 over 2. And hey, that midline is going to be at 2. There's our midline. Okay, and we're going to use actually that for V as well in just a moment. But from there, how far up does it go to get to the max? Well, it goes up 3, which should be the exact same value of how far down it goes. Let's double check though. 1, 2, 3. Perfect. Okay, we found our amplitude. So we've got y equals, our amplitude is going to be 3 times, and I said earlier on that we were going to use cosine on this one, and here's why. For cosine, does it start at your 0, at the maximum, or at the minimum? And cosine, just as it is without any adjustments, starts at 1, starts at the maximum. And right here, our maximum is at a nice clean lattice point. It's easy to see that it's going through the point 1, 5. That point right there is 1, 5. And we can use that. Versus if we had tried to use a 0 value where sine was going right through kind of our new 0, our new midline, these points aren't as clear of where they're at. We'd be able to figure it out with a little bit of work, but we just want to be able to get a quick and easy equation written down. So we're going to use cosine because, again, that we know that it starts at the maximum here's a clean maximum value we can use. And so we're going to use cosine. Next, B, we need to use B to figure out what the period, or B is affected by the period. So what is our period? So if we go from maximum to maximum, looks like it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 spaces across. So our period is equal to 6. Now remember that the period is also equal to 2 pi over our B value. All right, so if our period is 6, so we're going to have the equation of 6 equals 2 pi over B, multiply both sides by B, divide by 6. We have B equals, let's actually show it out there, times B, and then divide by 6. So 6 divided by 6 cancels out, B divided by B, and we end up with B is equal to 2 pi over 6, which reduces down to pi over 3. There's our B value. And again, that came from the period is equal to 2 pi divided by B. We knew the period is 6. We'd counted that from the graph and worked our way through to solve for B. So cosine of pi over 3 times x minus something. Now we're going to have to figure out, and this is part of where the infinite number of correct answers come in. What is that h value going to be? How far has that, well, for the point that we've chosen, that point has gone, what would have been, think of just a quick little sketch of sine, think of it starts at +1 and then it comes on down and heads back up. It starts at that maximum. That maximum's now been moved 1 to the right, so that's going to be -1. If we had wanted to talk about this starting point right here, we would instead subtract 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, is that 7? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So we'd have x minus 7. And every 6 after that, so let's see, 7, so 13, 19. Every time we repeated the length of the period, it would be a new correct answer. Again, let's just go with kind of the most straightforward, easiest example though. And the very first one we could use would probably be 1, 5 as that maximum, so x minus 1. Lastly, V, that's our vertical shift, and that's where has our center line, that midline, where does it move to? And we can see that green line right here has all been shifted up 2 spaces from the origin. So this is going to be +2. Okay, I hope that helps, and see you in future videos.